So here's the interesting thing about the Jake Paul-Mike Tyson fight, that it can only make you better as a photographer, as a photo business owner. Yeah. Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. What was that? What was that? Okay, so if you didn't know, if you're somehow hiding under a rock and didn't know, Mike Tyson, at 58 years old, fought a 27-year-old. Mike Tyson came out of retirement for this. Now, you have to know who Mike Tyson is. You may not know who Jake Paul is, but you have to know who Mike Tyson is. The greatest boxer of all time. He hasn't been taken down by many people. They call him the Iron Mike for a reason. And there's so much anticipation between all the marketing efforts from Jake Paul. Tyson had some marketing efforts, but it was more Jake Paul, because this was his show. And then, of course, Netflix was like going nuts on promoting this thing. And there was so much anticipation. The thing started at 8 p.m. Eastern time. The Tyson-Paul fight didn't happen until about 12:30 a.m. or so. I don't normally stay up for boxing matches. I don't normally watch boxing matches, but it was a chance to see what could be a really good fight. And I have Netflix, so it didn't cost me anything extra to watch this. I was happy about it. So I stayed up, and to my surprise, it was not what I was expecting. I was expecting either Paul to dominate, just because he's going after a 58-year-old who was retired and not training, and then had to retrain and get into good shape for that fight. Or did he? Or I was expecting Tyson to attack Jake Paul and basically take him out with one shot. Neither of those things happened. Yes, Jake Paul threw a lot of punches. I think it was, I don't remember the stats, but I think it was almost triple the amount of punches that Tyson threw. However, it was almost a fight that you could have been in the ring. It was almost no fighting. It was almost no fighting they also did shorter rounds. They did 2-minute rounds instead of 3-minute rounds. They did 8 rounds instead of 10 rounds. And they used thicker boxing gloves. I don't know. I feel like almost like they both went into it. This is easy money. Let's just not fight. Jake Paul would go in, throw a punch to Tyson's torso, sometimes to his head, and then back up to the point where Tyson can't even, back up to the point where Tyson would have to run after him in order to attack. 58-year-old is not going to run after him to attack. So anyway, one thing for sure is the photographers that were photographing that event probably got some really good photos. So that's cool. But what it's taught me is, first of all, just because there was no winner, right? Jake Paul won. Okay, Jake Paul won that fight. Just by the idea that somebody has to win, but nobody won that fight. Jake Paul did not win the fight, even though he technically won the fight. He did not win the fight because he didn't really fight. He just threw a punch and ran away. And then on the other hand, Tyson couldn't win the fight because Jake Paul was running away. Jake Paul even said that he was scared. Afterwards, he was saying that he was scared. And that's why he kept running away. Not that I want to get in the ring with either of them, because Jake Paul is a pretty good boxer for somebody who's still fairly new to the boxing world, and Tyson is the greatest of all time. So not that I want to get in the ring with either of them anyway, but there was no actual winner of this. It was just a very neutral thing where they both made millions of dollars for doing almost nothing. Okay, so the whole point of this is the point of this rant and this, yeah, just my mind is blown. I can't believe I stayed up for that. In your business, in your photography, you have to attack. It doesn't matter, especially if you're a business that's been around for longer and you've got new photographers coming up that are younger than you, that are fresher than you. You need to have new tools in your arsenal to win and compete against the newer photographers in your niche and in your local area and stuff like that. You need to be prepared, whether that's using modern tools, modern cameras, like physical tools, or using modern software. So for example, there were a lot of photographers that were hesitant to switch to mirrorless. And then all these new photographers came out that were mirrorless, and it changed the game for many photographers. And then when the quote unquote older generation of photographers, that's myself included, finally got to switching to mirrorless, it was, again, a game changer. So don't hesitate to attack by adopting the tools you need to succeed. And this also goes for software, right? There's a lot of photographers still hesitant to use AI in their work. But AI is only going to make you compete better, make you perform better, because it allows you to focus more on the creative aspects and let that tedious, that boring stuff to just happen automatically. And it's still you, right? It's still training on you. So adopt and attack. Don't hesitate. Don't stay back. Don't run. Just adopt, right? And if you see photographers coming with a pricing model that scares you, right, because it's really attractive to your potential clients, come up with a new structure for yourself that's even better than theirs. Not necessarily going cheaper, maybe going more expensive. Make you the luxury brand. You're better. You have more talent. You have more experience. You have better team, right? You have better staff. Show your value, right? Yeah, that is what the, for lack of better words, poop show of the Tyson-Paul fight taught me. And it's just, don't hit and run. Attack. Don't hesitate. Tyson could have, if he had better legs, better knees. I mean, he was wearing a knee brace. Again, he's 58 years old, but he's now probably in the best shape of his life for his age, that what he could be, right? From all the training he did for this fight. But don't hesitate to attack, because if you know what you got to do. So anyway, if you haven't watched the fight, it is on YouTube at this point, hours later. So you can watch the fight. It goes pretty fast, like 20 minutes. And you'll get an idea for what I mean easily, even if you don't know what boxing, if you don't follow boxing, if you don't watch boxing, if you don't understand it, you'll have an idea of what I mean. Anyway, this has been Photo Breakdown, talking about Tyson and Paul. It happens.